Last year, I think I really missed an opportunity in my execution and management of Round Zero to really drive this message home about why the big goal is important. I'm specifically going to talk about this learning experience not as a session, but as a learning experience, because this isn't necessarily a session that you're going to do formally in a whole group of core members. This is actually a learning experience that is intended to be modified and differentiated and personalized between program directors and small groups of core members, or even in some cases, PD to core member one-on-one. And the idea here is that this learning experience is intended to get core members back to the spirit of what it means to set a big goal. Back to the idea of goal orientation, or as Elon likes to say, the psychology of goals. This is more about why we set a goal. Why is a goal important? Why should we be motivated about it? What does it mean to have a goal drive your action and to revisit it constantly on a day-to-day basis? When core members get to institute, they read, the teaching and leadership curriculum. The very first pillar of TAL is set big goals, and that whole chapter talks to them about goal orientation and why it's important, what it really means to truly be a goal-driven person or goal-driven leader. But I think we kind of lose the spirit of that sometimes when we then kind of funnel down the goal into something that's just a one-liner that you put on the poster, and then we see interactions where a PD and a core member sitting down together, let's say to co-investigate in round one, and the PD says, so what's your big goal? And the core member's like, yeah, what was my big goal? Or the PD corrects them and says, oh, no, actually, this is what your big goal should be. And we talk about the wording and why the wording is off for this, or why 75% is not okay and it should be something else. Or sometimes we get lost in the technicalities of the goal when we talk about how to technically raise or lower the bar on the goal, what is right and what makes sense and what is fair and all of that. And we lose the true spirit behind what it means to be a goal-driven person. I think that's what this session is about. From a core member perspective, I think back to Kyle's video and I think about the way that he spoke about his goal. It was so steeped in content. He talked about how all the pieces of content led up to something that he eventually wanted his kids to be able to do, and how he led with that understanding of his vision for what he wanted with his kids, and then he made that quantifiable. And I think that's the spirit of goals that this learning experience gets back to. And so some of the things we might do in this session are things like help core members get motivated again around their goals. We think about how they can motivate their kids, or think about how they can personalize their goal, or make it relevant to their situation. A core member at this period of time has already been in their school for a couple of weeks. They've met their kids. They're starting to think about, what is it really that I'm here to accomplish? And so this learning experience that comes towards the end of round zero is kind of where we get to seal the deal about the goal, where the PD and the core member get to sit down, look each other in the eye, and shake hands over something and say, this is what we're here to accomplish together. That's a kind of feeling and experience that we want core members to walk away from the Revisit Your Big Goal session. More than, I think, what we've done in the past by just simply thinking about the technicalities or the wording of that one-liner goal. The second big learning experience that comes in the latter part of round zero is the CIU sessions. And so this is our opportunity to get core members ready to engage in database problem solving. This session is super important, helping make concrete that link between being Unit 1 ready, or having taught meaningful content in the classroom, and then being progress now. So in this session, core members are going to have the experience of actually being taught what database problem solving is. They'll be taught the 3 stages of problem solving: outcomes, causes, and solutions, and the 6 phases of co-investigation. We'll teach them about preparation and reflection. I know I often hear PDs talk about how sometimes it's so difficult to get reflective guides from our core members. But potentially a reason for that is because our core members haven't been explicitly taught why we do this and why database problem solving and independent reflection is so important. And this is that opportunity for us to get that. And so from a core member perspective, and we think again back to that Kyle video where he starts talking about how meaningful and amazing it is to engage in this process with his program director, and how that database problem solving is so purposeful to him and really helps him continuously be a better teacher. This is the session where we get to set that kind of process in place for our core members. We get to create that environment for our core members with their PDs. Okay.
Can I ask one question
Sure.
on the other side about
Yeah.
bullets 1 and 4 there?
Sure.
It seems like those would have been things that they come out of the Institute with. How are we connecting this to the Institute of the expected outcome?
Yeah, definitely. And I think there is intentional overlap there, because even though our core members at the Institute they do build the skill to being able to link their actions to student performance because they look at things like exit slips or weekly quizzes. They haven't yet gained the skill of what it looks like to do that over a longer period of time, let's say after a whole unit. And so I think this kind of like deepens that skill that they started to build. And I think this kind of also kind of enriches the mindset that we hope they've already left Institute with, which is that like, this is good, this is what they need to increase their effectiveness. I'm wondering if someone can speak to the design of the session. Are there explicit links to kind of like the way that this looked at Institute? Yeah.
Yes, there are connections. AIM is actually referenced in the session, so there'll be explicit connections made. Okay.
Yeah, so the academic impact model at Institute and co-investigation, there will be explicit links between those two. And then point 4, does that kind of answer your question on bullet point 4 too? Great. Romina, you got a question?
Yeah. So I'm thinking about one of the potential pitfalls that we talked about earlier regarding TFA and demand. And I'm thinking about that as it relates to progress known, our progress known target. And so then with that in mind, I'm processing a lot. I'm also thinking about the importance of spiraling the ability to CIE,
Yeah.
which is really awesome that we started that at Institute and I'm coming back to it. My question is, given the potential pitfall of, you're working toward ensuring that you get good data about your students, but not knowing exactly what you're going to be doing with that, can you talk to us about why we are not more explicitly spiraling CIE within the early weeks, and why we're waiting for the later weeks to do that?
I think I would think that would be a great thing to do if your core members in a place to do that. Because I think it would depend on them being able to have the assessments in place that are reliable to be able to accurately reflect on student progress. And if you've got a core member that has their tools in place that can hit the ground running, I think that's a great way to differentiate for that. To me, that makes total sense. Katie?
Yeah, and I would just add, I think we absolutely want to do that in the courses themselves. We foreshadow this a lot. So one of the reasons why you're doing this is to figure out when you get this assessment on your back, here's what you'll be able to tell, and here's what you'll be doing to me. You also can be considered and not feeling like you have to wait until the whole region has data to be able to see, but to do it in ways and to sell it so that at the kickoff you're telling board members, October 1, this is the day, we're coming back, we're going to have data, and we're going to use it at that point and start to build these things.
That's great. So it wasn't,
Yes.
Yeah, absolutely. I think that's an awesome way to differentiate, especially for your core member, your second years maybe, who are going to have formative assessments that are reliable within 2 weeks or so. So you can start doing that right away. I think that makes perfect sense. Ryan, you had a thought of me? Okay, great. Alrighty, so before we move on to the very next part, I want you to kind of think about everything that we've talked about. Hopefully there are a lot of thoughts are bubbling up for you already. And I want you at your table groups to think about some of the potential pitfalls that happen when core members don't go through this ideal path with regard to revisiting their big goal or mastering the CIU sessions. Before we do that, Rachel, you have a point?
Yeah, so I'm sort of obsessed with being kind of always like sort of one more step explicit than we've been, so I just want to do that right here. I do feel like if we look at what happened last year in round 0 across a bunch of different regions, we saw real neglect for these sessions at the end of the scope and sequence. There are a lot of reasons for that related to design, and hopefully we worked on and fixed those. I think there are also reasons related to people, even in their planning, sort of have stronger plans for the beginning of the round and then it sort of peters out as the round goes on. I think the second big reason was really not understanding how are these sessions directly connected to our strategy for getting people progress known. And so there are people who are working crazily to get people progress known and yet not doing these end of round sessions and not realizing that they are directly aligned to what we think will get people progress known. So I think just as we sort of talked about for the kickoff, okay, what was the big thing we